I'm a sleepwhacker, I think.
Are you?
So like a walking sleepwalker. Like you walk around and do it.
Now that would that would make me a freak. But no, I don't think I walk around and do it. But like I try to sleep.
How do you know?
Well, because I try to like hump my wife. She's like, "What are you?" You know, she like she'll wake me up and be like, "What are you doing?" Or the next morning she'll be like, "Hey, you tried to," you know, and I'm like, "What did I try to do?"
Why didn't you let it happen?
I'm like, "I'm a sick bastard." Yeah, and then I was like, "Hey, did I get anywhere?" She's like, "Absolutely not. No, of course you didn't." I was like, "Oh man, it's the same whether I'm sleeping or whether I'm fucking awake."
Damn, just the same odds, bro.
I got nothing, man.
It's all good.
That's just the way it goes.
Damn.
Hey, Andrew, can you move that mic stand?
We need to move.
That one, no.
This
just
one?
the mic, yeah, just move it forward.
Towards me?
Yeah,
Oh
towards
my
you.
God.
More and more. Actually, just put it on the floor, please.
Well, is the cord gonna reach?
Are we recording
just-
yet?
I think so.
we've been recording for the last 10
Oh
minutes.
hell yeah, let's go.
I think we've
Oh,
been.
that's a long ass cord.
I think we've been recording.
What? That's what she said.
Yeah, they're moving all this shit in front of us.
Okay.
What's this intervention about again?
Yeah, so it's you know
coming out intervention.
I thought I was gonna. I had these big plans. I was like, I'm gonna come to LA. I'm gonna be somebody. I'm gonna go down to Los Angeles. I'm gonna tear shit up. I'm gonna interview Chuck Liddell. I'm gonna talk to this guy and that guy, and I'm gonna see Bradley Martyn, and it's gonna skyrocket my social media. I had a whole thing. I was like, Bradley's gonna tag me, and it's gonna be on.
That's gonna be it.
I'm gonna be
just to the heavens.
multi-millionaire. I don't know.
You fucking asshole. Can I swear on your podcast?
I think so.
Okay,
I think you
cool.
just did.
Yeah, I did. As long
think
as you
you're-
didn't edit it and beep it out.
I think you're breaking all the rules.
Yeah, it's kind of what we do.
Dude, what's up with you just ordering in and out and not caring about the carbs? You don't care?
I go through phases of caring.
No, okay.
Like genuinely, I know we're joking about a lot of stuff, but no, I go through phases of caring. And normally the phases are like just once in a while.
In and out, I don't think's that bad. Anyway, I mean, you got a lot of protein going on, right? We can at least make that excuse.
Yeah, there's a lot of protein.
There's a lot of protein. What about the French fries? Shake? Chocolate shake?
Strawberry shake. Always strawberry shake.
shake.
Sometimes Neapolitan with like half the amount of chocolate.
But you've been having too much dairy lately.
Yeah.
Does that cause a lot of problems?
Dairy for me, for sure. And this is like all jokes and everything aside, has always caused like sinus issues and stuff with me.
Oh.
Because I've always kind of
I thought you were going to say uncontrollable flatulence.
No, I mean, yeah. I
that
do fart a little bit more too.
That would be more me. Impotence?
No.
Is that what you said?
No.
What'd you say?
No, it's flatulence.
Wait, what?
What? No, I'm good. I'm good there. But man, yeah.
So, dude, why'd you beg me to be on this podcast? What did you have to tell everybody today?
Yeah. Oh, for me to be on your podcast?
This is really sad. I don't know if he has a fake following or like, I don't know what happened.
So wait a minute. Me begging you?
Yeah, for like, I don't know, what, 6 months now? 7 months?
Oh, that was me.
Yeah, I think so.
It was me.
Yeah, the text, the sliding into the DM.
Okay.
You slide into the DM fucking so hard, it's illegal.
It's illegal. I
You
almost hit
can't
myself
slide
in
in a
the
home
head.
plate like that anymore.
Bro. Oh, it was me doing that.
All right.
Sure it wasn't. You sure?
Yeah,
Are you
it was
sure?
you.
It was me. It wasn't you. You sure?
Yeah.
You still gonna deny it?
Yeah, you know, this guy, he's supposed to come up to Super Training Gym. I was all excited. I was all fired up. I had the biggest boner that I could get, which wasn't a whole lot going on, but
4 inches.
let's not stretch the truth.
Okay.
I was doing the best I could, and I was excited to have Bradley up there finally to check out Super Training Gym. I had it all planned out. I was like, I'm going to show him the gym. I'm going to show him these slingshots. I'm going to show him, you know, how we ship and how we do this and how we do that. I'm going to show him the podcast room that his boy Kev helped set up.
Shout out to Kev.
And my boy Andrew have been working hard on. And I'm going to show him all these things, and he's going to be excited, and he's going to be pumped up. Then we're going to do a bro sesh. Then I'm going to take him to dinner, and I'm going to have him meet the gay guy at Morton's that hooks me up. That hooks me up with tons of meat.
I heard about it.
Like, I wanted to kiss me because I have a free gym.
Damn.
Anyway, I had it all planned out. I was going to change your life forever. I was going to give you the autograph and everything.
Damn. And then I didn't show up.
I'm going to show you the Slinger Mansion. We were going to hot tub.
Yeah.
Like me and Furious Pete back in the day. Oh, I'm not even supposed. I don't know if I was supposed to say that.
No, it's all good.
Sorry, Pete.
So,
Omar.
wait, Pete doesn't know about that?
What?
That Pete didn't tell anyone?
Pete and Omar, they don't know about each other.
Oh, damn.
Unless I brought it up.
I think it's done now. I think everyone knows about it now.
Oh my
What
god!
would know about what?
Wait, what?
I don't want to talk about it. Let's not go down that road.
There's a lawsuit.
I didn't show up.
Yeah, what happened?
Oh man. Well, I
Quads
told you.
were too sore.
No, I called you. We talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'll just tell you guys, I have like really bad anxiety with flying. Like even I went to the Ohio Expo and like, I was actually just telling Brandon about it. Like I'll sit in the plane, like we're taking off, and takeoff is kind of good, okay. But I'm in my head, I have a really hard time with like losing control. And then when you're in a thing that it's like you literally have no control over, which is different because I know that like the odds of getting in like an airplane crash versus a car crash is like you're for sure like much more likely to die in a car.
Like sound like bullshit, right?
But since I'm in the car and I'm driving, I'm
Yeah.
like, but I got this. But I go to plane and I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
You don't know who's driving that thing.
Yeah. So every time I go into the plane, I always look to like the cockpit, and I'm like, these motherfuckers better be like on their shit.
They better
like,
be
you guys need an
legit.
energy drink? What you guys need?
Yeah.
But anyways, I go in the plane and I'll legit sit there, and it's almost like I preemptively like psych myself out. Like I'm like, you're gonna get anxiety, and I'm like in my head, I'm like, no, you're not. You're not gonna get anxiety. So I just avoided the whole thing, man, because even going to Ohio, I'm going to Ohio and I'm sitting there, I'm like, everything's good, everything's fine, I'm real good, I'm healthy, I'm strong, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, but are my hands getting pale right now? I'm getting pale right now, and I'm like, oh man, I think I'm sweating. And next thing you know, I'm sweating.
You just start
and I'm like,
freaking yourself out.
And then like I'm like, does my arm feel weird? Like this whole arm feels like weird and weak. And then I'm like, oh, and then I have to like talk to the person next to me to be like, just talk to me to get me out of this.
Shit.
So I'll genuinely tell you that like I didn't want to fly
Yeah.
because of that. And anxiety is something that I've dealt with for a long time. And flying has always been like one of the number one things that trigger it.
You know what? In your defense, fucking flying is not normal. You know, like
Yeah.
what? It's people talk about things being natural, not natural. Flying is definitely not a natural.
For sure, not natty.
Not a natty phenomenon. I
Yeah.
mean, you go in this fucking long tube with like 300 or 400
And it's
other
like
people.
pressurized and
It doesn't really make any sense, and they do pretty well most of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have a lot of problems.
I think what fucked me up though is that I was on Twitter like a week before, and I saw this lady posted a picture of like a wing that had like the engine was like halfway blew up, and she was like, it was the scariest flight of my life, and it was American Airlines, and I was like, my flight's American Airlines, and I was like, I don't want to fucking go. That's gonna be me. I swear to God, dude. And so that like 2 weeks prior to leaving, I was thinking about that the whole time. I'm like, that fucking Twitter.
I'm gonna
post.
have to send a Sprinter van down to get you.
Yeah, and then we were talking about driving, and then I was like, fuck, it's
Kidnap
so
you.
long.
It
It's
is
such a long
far.
drive.
6 hours there, 6 hours back.
The drive there is always pretty good. Drive back's always back, because then it's like, you've already done everything, and you're like, I gotta go home now. And
What do
then
you
it's kinda
think?
sad.
What do you think the anxiety is about? What do you think that's from?
Man, I don't know. I've always kind of dealt and struggled with anxiety like my whole life, and as I've gotten older though,
You had it when you were real young. You think?
yeah, for sure. No, it wasn't the same. It was
Yeah.
just different. I think when I was younger, I didn't know what it was. I was just like,
About
how do I
like
feel?
playing sports and stuff. Did you play sports when you were growing up?
I played football, yeah, and I mean, same thing, like performance anxiety to like to do good, but it was
Right.
almost that would kind of drive me to be a little bit better.
Right.
But I'm talking about like moments of anxiety that are like just completely outside of activity where like I'm just sitting there almost doing nothing and my mind kind of just like runs off.
And then your heart just goes.
Yeah, and I'll be
Races,
like,
right?
And then I'll be like, my heart will be racing. Like there's tons of times where I'll wake up in the middle of the night and be like, I'm going to have a fucking heart attack. And like I think, I don't know, dude, like 3-4 weeks ago, I ended up calling the ambulance. And then the ER people, the ambulance people come up and they're like, yo, you're good. Like, they put the EKG on me and they're like, and I'm like, well, I've dealt with anxiety. I'm like, well, it's probably anxiety.
Yeah.
But it's a little embarrassing, man, to be honest, to like really be honest. It's embarrassing.
It's cool that you're able to share it. Do you feel like you're paranoid about stuff?
I think, man, if I'm being 100% honest, which I like to try and be my best always, I think my father dying when I was young and like the circumstances that it was in, and I think I've always kind of had a fear of death because of the permanence of it.
Yeah.
And like, because when you're a kid, you experience, and I think I might have talked to you a little
How
about
old
this
was
before.
he?
I think he was 34 or 5, and I was 6.
Yeah.
So before that, obviously, you hurt yourself and it's okay, it gets better. But then when your mom's like, hey, this is like a forever thing, you're like, oh shit. There's no
like,
I
wait,
can't
what?
say, okay, I'm gonna go say bye. I can't be like, oh, I'm gonna go like, let me just hug you and then okay. This is like, so
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah. That is pretty heavy. My wife's dad died when she was 10, and it reshaped her life forever. She she is somebody that just is always like, you know what, fuck it, I'll do it myself. So she puts a ton of pressure on herself to get things done and to do things in a timely manner. She's like, Andrew will attest to this. She's one of the strongest people that you'll ever meet. She can handle so many tasks at one time, and she's helped my life a ton. She's helped me a lot because she had to go through such a hard time. You know, that was like just really dropped a bomb on that family when her dad passed. She was 10 years old, and she had to kind of forever from that point on say, you know, I can't really rely on anybody else. I had to take care of myself. And so because of that, she became a swimmer, and because of that, she got a Division I scholarship, and because of that, she just kicks ass at everything she does.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, man, like as I've gotten older, it's weird because like I don't think my anxiety and stuff has gotten worse. It just became more like more relevant because as I've gotten older then and like I built these businesses and all the stuff that I'm doing, like there's more people that like rely on me to be my best, to be myself, to do better, to like keep going, to like because other people like, you know, pay salaries. Like,
dude, there's people that what's under their Christmas tree depends on you, right?
Yeah.
Like that's when you start
and their
thinking
food and their their mortgage and their
you
rent.
start thinking about that, you're like, what?
Yeah.
Wait, what am I doing?
So I know all about that, and then since I know all about that, it kind of like makes me be more like, fuck, I need to like make sure I'm good. I need to make sure this is good. I need to make sure I don't die.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want it to end for me because then it's ending
stressful.
for everyone. And then like, and I know that the people that are in my circle, if worst case scenario something like that happened to me, they could still be okay. They could still make it work. But I obviously have a lot of pressure internally to be like, but I know that I can make it better. And I've always kind of been that person that like I can make it better, and I want to make everyone like me, or I want everyone. You know, I've always been that person, and I think being on social media, like you realize that you can't get everyone to like you. You can't always make it better because a lot of times it's just relying on someone else to identify whatever's going on in their life that they want to be better, and it's never someone else's. Like someone else can't make something better for you,
right?
And I'm starting to learn that like I can't make things better for everyone else, even if I want to, even if it, you know, I think I can. You just fucking can't. So I think that it's a control thing. It has always been a control thing for me, and like an ending thing, like a loss, and it being gone type thing.
Yeah, it's a overextension of yourself. You're reaching too far if you're trying to help too many people, too many different ways. All you can really do is just kind of do your thing. But it is interesting because it's not. Your company has grown a lot. This gym has grown. This gym is fucking awesome, by the way. Anybody that ever has a chance to check it out, whenever you're in the Los Angeles area, have to check out Zoo Culture. It's fucking awesome. It's got everything you need to get stronger, and then some. But there is a lot of pressure. You know, there's a lot of pressure to provide for the people that are around you, and there's a lot of pressure to, you know, even if it's just coming from yourself, there's a lot of pressure. A lot of people feel anxiety. About all kinds of different things. We're in a world right now where you're in constant comparison to everybody else.
Fuck, man.
You know, years ago, you wouldn't be like, even just where we went today, we went to see Chuck Liddell, and the area that he lives in Los Angeles is just absolutely insane. Now, if you were to go back like 50 years, there would probably only be like 100 people in the United States that probably lived that way, period.
Yeah.
Well, now there's a few hundred people in this one small community in California. Multiply that by whatever, right? There's a lot of people that are kicking ass. And so when you look to your left, when you look to your right, and when you try to not look anywhere, when you look even just down the middle, you're staring at somebody who's successful, somebody who's got more followers than you, somebody who makes more money than you, or even if it's just a perception that you think that they're doing better than you, that can put you in a rough spot. Does some of that bother you? Do you feel like you should be further ahead?
Sometimes, but no, not all the time. But I definitely know about that. I definitely, now in my life, a lot less does that affect me. For sure, I'd say as like Instagram started and as I kind of just got started, everything was like, it felt like it was a fucking race. 100%. It felt like everything I was doing was like, I got to make sure I'm the strongest, or I do the craziest stuff, or I do the craziest whatever. And like, I got to keep going. It felt like it was a race. And I'd say in the last few years, like I feel a lot less of that, which like I'm grateful for. Yeah. And then, but
that is a race. You're winning it because you're out in front with you have just a huge command of the community. When I look at your pictures and your likes and your comments and stuff, the retention is unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, I'm grateful, man. I think the thing that like I would attribute that to. And it's crazy because me and Kev have been talking about this since we went to the Arnold. And
here we go. He's going to talk about his handsomeness. Everybody get ready. Everybody sit down.
No, what everyone said to
ready.
me is the same thing. Is like, you actually care. And it's funny because you think that like that would be the easiest thing for someone to do is just like actually give a fuck.
Oh yeah. What about when people tell you that you're real? You're like,
Oh,
as opposed to
100 exactly.
as
So
opposed to-
I hear this and I'm like, I'm not talking about I hear it once or twice. I hear this like 50 to 100 times every time I go to an expo. And I'm like, who else? Like in my head, I don't ask them because I don't need to figure out who it is.
Yeah.
Who else are they talking to that makes them feel not like that? Like that they're just
Right.
like, what the fuck? Because I feel like, and I think this is why I've gotten more calm with like this whole race, is that at the end of the day, it's not about any of that shit. It's just about, are you affecting people? Are you helping people somehow?
Right.
Because I think if you focus on giving and giving and giving, that people want to give back to people they felt like has been giving to them.
Right.
There's never in your life you're gonna be like, someone's done so much for you, and you're like, okay, fuck you. Like you're gonna do something. You want to do something to like make that person feel good because they made you feel good.
Right.
So I go to expos and I do my best to like give my time to every single person as much as I can, even though sometimes I'm being like pushed around, like you got to go over here, you got to go over there, take
You
a
give them
second quick.
100%.
I try and give 100% every time that I do it, and
Yeah.
to hear that other people aren't baffles me because this race mentality that I had, the thing that started to end that for me was like the people who are in your life right now, whether it's 10,000 followers, 1 million followers, or 10, 20 people next to you, like in your circle, as long as you like give to those people what you'd want to be given. And I hate to say it sound corny like this golden rule thing, but it's so true. Like give what you want to receive. Like give to these
100%.
people. Like because at some point you're not going to be in the best shape, or at some point you're not going to be in the best situation, or you're going to deal with something in
Look
your
at
family.
CT Fletcher,
And
right?
it's how
look
much
at how
love he
many.
got.
Look how many people are giving back to him right now when he needs it, right?
Because he's given so much.
He's given a lot.
And it's one of those things. It's just like, I think all these influencers get so caught up with like numbers, and they get caught up in the race that they forget to realize that all these numbers are fucking people. Like it's 1 million people. It's not just 1 million numbers and you're cool because you got 1 million followers. That's the thing. They think of followers. I got 1 million followers. Not like these are literally 1 million people who have their own lives, who's gone through their own issues.
The
who
word
deal with their
itself
own
is a
struggles.
little bit almost derogatory.
Followers.
Like you're following me.
But it's really someone who like looks up to something you're doing.
Right.
And if that person is like investing their time and their energy into liking your pictures and engaging with you, when you see them in person, I feel like you need to fucking be there for that person. Because no one, this is the thing that really gets me, man. No one, right, gives a fuck about the 1,000 people that you talk to before them. Right? I'm talking as the people who are coming to see me.
Right.
I realize that every single person, and I don't blame them one bit, that's exactly how you should feel. They don't think about the 1,000 people prior to them. They think about them and how much it matters to them. Because they're not thinking about everyone else's brains or everyone else's experiences. They're thinking about the video that you did or the thing that you taught them that helped them change their life. So they come to you and they want to talk to you, and you're like, you in your head, you're like, oh, I talked to 1,000 people. I'm really fucking tired. I want to go eat. Fuck off, kid. Take a picture and get off. That guy's like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. They're not thinking about all these other people. And that's what I don't understand. People in this industry, not all of them, obviously, because like yourself, I know you don't do that to people, but they're just kind of like dismissive.
If I ever did, I'd never meant anything by it.
Absolutely.
Like, maybe you caught me at a grumpy fucking time or whatever. I try.
And that's real as well. That's real as well. I'm not going to say there's never moments where like I'm running to the bathroom and I really have to pee.
Yeah, you're holding your dick, yeah.
So, but I hear it so much that I'm like, it seems like it's there's more people doing that. Like, just get on. And it's like these people, people are like, I drove here just to see you. I drove here 2 hours. I drove here 3 hours. I waited 2 hours in a line after driving 2 hours, and I drove here just to see you, and they left. And it's like, if I'm not giving back, because this is the thing that I always say, and it bothers me, man. I'm not fucking Brad Pitt, right? And I like to use Brad Pitt because my name's Brad, and I think it'd be cool if I was in Troy, if we made a remake of Troy.
Sexy?
I don't know. I mean, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well,
but Brad Pitt or Will Smith or some famous person who's like famous because they did a thing, or a musician who's famous, and then they get a bunch of followers on the internet because they're like a famous musician. Right. People in the fitness industry are all literally, there's no like, oh my God, this fitness industry television where you're the famous guy and now you got Instagram and you've been doing that for years. And our fucking fame and popularity, at least for the most part, for most people, is literally built on that platform, on that social media platform.
Right.
So if it's social media and you're not giving to the people who are giving to you, when they see you in person, it's like, what the fuck? And I feel like there's so many people who talk a big fucking game, and then they get to an expo and they're like, shit, I can't wait to just be there for 2 hours and get the fuck out of here. I want to go train, or I want to go eat.
Yeah.
I got my 2 hour gap, whatever the fuck it is, and then they're out of there. And then they just say piss off to everybody on the way out. Like the one of the people that I know, and I said this in one of my videos for the Arnold Expo, someone who did this really well passed away, Rich Piana. He was the dude who was like, the motherfucker was there from the whole time.
Yeah.
And he was there to the end,
Maybe
to the
just
last
like
person.
sit on that couch if he got tired, but people would still come up while he was sitting on the couch and he's just chilling.
Yeah, so I got to say R.I.P. to him, man, because he was one of the people that I saw doing that in the very beginning when I kind of started, and I was like, damn, I want to do that.
He had a huge crowd of people.
Yeah, and I remember we'd leave the expos, and I would always see him saying, he'd always be like leaving the expo, doing the same thing, like on the way out, stop, take a photo, take a photo, and I just have a lot of respect for that, because these people, they've given us what we have, like they buy the slingshot, they buy the products, they buy my apparel, like they do these things, and I'm like, I'm living a fucking dream, and like I literally get to like work out and lift weights and do gym bro stuff that I've done my whole life, and people like allow me to make a living doing it.
You just get to make up weird workouts or fun things that you want to do for YouTube.
It's just it's crazy, man. And I don't know. This makes me want to talk about another topic, which is so many people coming up to me and saying, "Oh, I want to do what you're doing. I want to do what you're doing." There's so many, and it's so saturated. How do I do it? What And I talked to a kid at for like maybe like 35 minutes. This Asian guy sitting next to me.
Just crushing everybody behind him. I love that. That's the best. Like he's crushing.
No. This is not.
Oh, it's not an expo. Not
this
an
was
expo.
not the expo.
Yeah.
No, normally it's like
every once in a while I get that in an expo and it just kills everybody behind him. But
yeah, I see. It happens to me too. But this was at the airport. So at the airport, I talked to him for such a long time, and he was so like, "Oh, but there's so many people who do it. Like, how can I be successful? Like, why me and all this stuff?" And I'm trying to sit there and tell him like, yeah, everything we just kind of talked about like figure out what it is that matters to you, what your message is, and how to like portray that to people, and then just give a shit about like being a human, and being a human with other humans. Because all success, I think, at the end of the day, comes down to that, like you being able to like. We're talking about Drake, right? His trainer came in here.
Yep.
Why, in my opinion,
look how cool those guys were,
and why, super cool. But why, in my opinion, why do I think Drake is one of the best rappers? Not necessarily because he's like the best lyricist, but because his content is so fucking relatable.
Right.
What he sings about, like how he sings about it or how he raps about it, is just like, whether it be like something with a girl or success or something, you could be like, you can vibe to it, you can relate to it because you feel like you can apply some of the things or some of the vibes or some of the feelings to your life.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like all success is about human interaction with other. Like, how can you make someone else feel good about themselves, just like you want to feel good about yourself? So when I talk to people like this at the airport, and he's like, "Oh, so many people. It just feels like it's too late. All you guys know each other, and like they feel like an outsider or whatever." And I always tell them the same thing: is like, but there's only one of you, and you just got to figure out what's special to you,
right?
And how to show other people, and keep doing it year after year after year after year, and then eventually, you're one of those people that you thought were cool. Something just has to matter to you. And I think people get so caught up in, oh, I need to do some crazy lift, or I got to be some strong guy, and it's like, yeah, that might get people in the door, but that's never going to keep people there. Right. Like, what's going to happen in 5 years when it's like you can't do those things, you can't continue to be that person? Why are people still connecting with you? It's not going to be. It's going to be because of how you fucking affect them as a person.
Right.
Because I can tell you straight up, all my success has, I got these cool like videos that people saw, but that's never why people said they went and bought anything. No one's like, I bought it because you're really strong, bro.
You jumped up on a box.
Or you jumped out of a pool. That was really cool. All the conversation goes from there to like, and then I saw this video where you talked about your dad dying. And I saw this video where you talked about loss. And I saw this video where you talked about purpose. And I saw this video where you talked about motivation. Then I was like, you changed my life. And they said you changed my life. And that to me is like, that's why there's success. That's why I have success. Is because I cared about like sharing things that I went through in my life through my own eyes and my own experience and my perspective, and just trying to talk about it so someone else can maybe get something from it.
You got to give 10x, before you get one thing back. You got to give. You got to give a lot, and I think that's one thing.
Thanks for letting me talk so long, by the way.
I don't care.
I was on
man.
it. I'm sorry.
No, that's good. I mean, sometimes part of doing this podcast is just shutting the fuck up every once in a while and
I feel like I had an event. Fuck.
I feel like if I'm good at anything, that probably is it. I feel like in the powerlifting community, I've been able to take some people that maybe other people haven't heard about before, and whatever light is shining on me, I feel like I do a pretty good job of pointing it in their direction, whether it's putting them on Power Magazine or getting them on this podcast that I've going for a few years now. But I think that a lot of people just don't understand that you do have to give a lot of yourself before you really get much back. And it might mean that you're giving stuff away for free, or it might be that you're giving away your time. I mean, time is the most valuable asset that we have. And when you give people your time, you will get everything you want back and then some. And so that's something for people to think about and consider. If you want to get into this community and you want to be a part of this, then you're going to have to figure out. People say find your passion. They say that a lot, and it's kind of like, fuck, I'm confused. I don't know what I'm passionate about. It just has to be something that you really like. If you really like doing it, then odds are you'll find yourself doing it for free. Like Andrew, blowjobs
we got to make sure
exactly.
We got to make sure we're not talking about jerking off, because everyone always got the jerk off joke. Like, well, I like to jerk off, so I'll just do it all the time.
Yeah.
It's not going to turn into money, guys, unless you start webcamming, and that's a whole nother story.
Unless you really are going to Pound Town.
Yeah,
maybe
you might be the guy. You might be the guy.
Maybe you'll make it rain.
Yo, you might be the guy.
Wait, we got a different show going on here.
Who cares? But it's real though, because I mean, the reality is someone could make that their job if they really wanted to.
If you got creative enough,
if you really wanted to,
you would need a butt plug, and you'd need a spotter.
Oh my god,
you need
spotter
a fluffer.
for sure.
You would need a lot of
some Cialis. You get
Wait, what?
Some Cialis.
Today's podcast is sponsored by.
It's not sponsored by that though. But
it should be.
Yeah, it should be for sure.
No, I think that's a really important message, and I think a lot of people also, like at those trade shows, when you mentioned that they sometimes don't care about the other people in front of them or the other people behind them, or even the individual who's communicating with these people. Maybe he's not really thinking of all the people that are in line.
Yeah.
A lot of it boils down to perspective.
Yeah.
You know, what is it like for you to be in their shoes? Why don't you kind of put yourself in that person's shoes?
That's why I said it. Because
Yeah.
I totally understand. The person is not thinking. I get it. Because I'm
Right.
When I have anxiety, and I'm like, I'm thinking about, I just want to not feel this. Like, and I'm not saying that's how these people think, but most people they're consumed with what's in their head. I mean, let's be honest. So everything we do is like something going on in our head. So they're in their own head, and it's like they want to see this person that means the world to them, and they're not. Of course, I don't expect them to think about the fucking 100 people or the 50 people or the 20 people prior, because it's just not. Especially in an event where they're like, "Oh, I'm super excited! I can't wait to. I'm going to tell them this. I'm going to tell them this." And then sometimes people come up to me and be like, "Oh, I don't know what to say," and I'm like, "Man, just talk to me."
Right.
And then like almost like making them feel like okay to just say whatever. Then it all comes out.
Yeah.
You know, because people I don't know. I guess it's weird because I don't know. I had that once with The Rock. Yeah, so I did experience that once.
Did he give you a rock bottom?
No, but so
People's elbow?
He ran out the gym, right? And then like I chased him, and then I hit the corner, and I was like, "Rock, I just want to get a photo with you." And I think because I said I just want to get I said I want to shake your hand, and I think because I said I just want to shake your hand. Then when I went to shake his hand, I was like, "Oh man, you're the best," and that was it. Because I looked at him, he looked at me like, I didn't say I want to reiterate this. I didn't say I want to take a photo with you. I said I want to just shake your hand. And so when I said I want to just shake your hand, that's all I did. And then I shook his hand, and he almost looked at me like, "Is this guy gonna ask me for a photo or not?" It was totally the look he had on his face, and I was like, "Okay, bye." And I never took that photo. But then I tweeted him later. He tweeted me like, "Next time I see you, we'll take a photo." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, The Rock tweeted me."
How long ago was that?
Oh, bro, it was last year.
Oh yeah.
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 So
I think those guys are expecting that sometimes. You know.
yeah,
because
and I guess all I'm really saying is like, I get it. I get why people don't think about everyone else.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with it. I'm just like, I guess I wish more of the influencers would understand that. And instead of, because they just go, I guess when I go into that situation, when I go to an expo, I know that like, I'm not going to be the most comfortable. Like, I may be really hungry. I may be tired. I may need some more water. But I'm not going to let those things affect my interaction with some person who doesn't really, they're not thinking about that, and I don't fucking blame them. Because they're thinking about just talking to me and sharing their story. And so I go in there knowing they're like, I'm going to be tired as shit after the next 3 days because I'm going to give it my all. And I'm going to be sick because half the time I get sick when I go to these expos afterwards. And then because you shake a million hands and, you know, kiss babies and stuff. I think I kissed like one baby. Do you ever kiss babies? Not like in a weird way, just like, you know.
I kissed the baby, yeah.
Did you? Yeah.
This year was my first baby kissing.
Damn. Hell yeah. You're like the president now.
I know. I feel
pretty
like
much shake hands, kiss babies. So
I feel like it.
I go into those events knowing that that's what it is. So like, I guess I just wish more influencers would go in knowing that like, just man the fuck up or woman the fuck up for 1, 2, 3 days and just like give them 100%.
Something I noticed that I haven't noticed in the past is that the people in line, once they heard you interacting with the person that was in front of them, they kind of creeped forward a little bit, which I thought was good because then you're getting more for your time because then they were kind of creeping in. It might have been a question they had, or it might have been a similar story. I get a lot of people that have weight loss stories. So they'll come up and say, I lost 50 pounds or whatever. And the guy behind them or the girl behind them has a similar story.
Yeah.
And so therefore, whatever I'm spitting out to that person, the person behind them is kind of hearing some of it too. And then each person is, just that much more aware of each person's mission, each person's goal, each person's perspectives.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different things going on. When it comes to anxiety, is there something that you're not doing that you feel anxiety over, or
More.
these things just come out of
More. I feel like I'm not doing enough.
right?
That's honestly what it is. I even when I do the most, I feel like I didn't do enough. And
But you've always felt that way.
my whole life.
So that's important to know, because I don't feel that way. And that doesn't mean that I'm accomplishing more than you. That just means that whatever I'm made out of, that doesn't register that much with me. And I have a different lifestyle than you do. I have a family. I got a wife and kids, and like that's like number one, and then everything else is like number 7 behind that. And it's just different, right? But it doesn't mean that I'm accomplishing more than you, because I'm not like I'm anxious because I got to do A, B, C, D. For me, I think what helps is that I've always been fucking slow at everything. Even when it came to school, like I was always behind. And so for something to take longer is very normal for me. And I don't feel like I need to really rush anything. Any ideas or any inventions I've ever had, the slingshot push-up, which we just released at the Arnold Classic, is an idea I had 4 years ago. So there's a lot of things like that have just been swirling around. Even the gym, super training. I had the gym idea probably since I was, 14, 15. Yeah. Ever since I stepped into a commercial gym, I've had the idea. And so for me, a lot of times it takes a lot of just whatever the fuck's going on in my head. It takes a long time for these things to go from my head to paper to actually being like a finished product. Do you feel like you're in a rush to like get more messages out or get more products out or something?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a message thing, and I think I don't know why I feel like I have like I think like I said, I think it has to do with my childhood and the things ending, and just being like, I know that I can get in a car and like I could be in a car accident or shit happens. Like my fucking my ex-girlfriend of like on and off. I never really talk about this too. I won't talk about it for like on and off for like 6 years, like the last 6 years.
Yeah.
Was an ER nurse, so like you hear you talk about things, you hear perspective of like the craziest kind of shit possible at UCLA too, which is like the craziest of all hospitals in California. You just know that like anything could fucking happen. So for me, I feel like while I'm here now, I need to get all this shit done, so that I can put out the best message, so that I can like reach the most amount of people. Because for me, that's always been like my biggest driving thing is like the Maya Angelou quote of like people will never like remember exactly what you said, but they remember how you made them feel.
Right.
And like, I always like, that's like the thing that's always ringing in the back of my head of like what I'm trying to do with like everything in my life. Cause I've been in positions where like, I know that I've really felt like shit and I've really felt bad. Like fuck. And it's just like not wanting other people to experience that. At least knowing that they will, everyone's going to experience some of that, but like trying to like, almost know that it's going to be okay. Whether or not you experience it or not right now, or you're going to experience it, like, know that, like, you will experience it, and then it's okay. And that I'm trying to be like, I've been in the shittiest positions. I felt the shittiest. I've experienced all these, like, anxiety, depression, all this bullshit that does not feel good. But I'm still happy. I still feel good now. And I think a lot of times people get so caught up in shit because my father took his life, and I wish me now could have had a conversation with him then.
Right. I got you. This is some heavy shit, man. And when it comes to people that are listening to the show, I think it's important that a lot of people think it's a negative thing to get help. A lot of people think it's a negative thing to try to get some professional help, and most of the people that I know have gone to professionals, have gotten help. And again, when we're talking about anxiety, it's not something you can really talk about lightly. I do think that activity, I do think diet, I do think some of these things can help a little bit.
Absolutely.
But if you're bipolar, or if you have like really severe anxiety or severe depression, you more than likely are going to need to get some help. And it's not a negative thing; it's a positive thing.
Yeah. Because
there's just some things, inner workings, man, that you have to try to figure out a way. Can you maybe get him a
tissue?
Yeah. There's it's just for some reason it's like frowned upon, to go get help, and it's frowned upon for us as dudes,
100%.
especially because we're all jacked and we're so fucking good looking and rock solid and everything,
Just you, bro.
and so strong. People don't want to cry.
Nasty
Yeah, that
stuff
was
up
good.
here. Oh.
People are scared to cry. People are scared to talk about their fears or talk about. I mean, I was just talking in the gym the other day to some people. Like, there's been some really just fucking horrible conversations I've had to have with my wife. They're way too private for me to talk about in a setting like this. But anybody that's in a relationship knows, like, there's just things, man. You got to really sometimes drag yourself through some dirt. And for me, I have my wife with me, so it's a little bit different. We can kind of go through stuff together, and as long as we continue to communicate, then everything's all good. But a lot of people don't have another person like that. A lot of people are scared to go get some help, and they really should. Like, if you have anxiety that doesn't make any sense, like if you can't make sense of it, look, for a guy like yourself, you're in good shape. People would look at your Instagram, they'd look at the different things you're doing, and they'd be like, if this guy has fucking anxiety, then we all should have it. Like, what is this guy worried about, right? Like, that's what they're going to look at from the outside, right? And so anybody who's listening to this message that really struggles and it's not really adding up, there's no drugs or alcohol in the mix, or there's no, I'm not a fucking doctor by any means, but I do think that people should just take the responsibility. Even if you're just listening to this and you know someone that is in this spot, you should communicate with them and say, hey, man, I think maybe I'm overstepping my boundaries. Maybe they'll hate you. Advise them to get some fucking help.
Yeah.
It can really make a big difference.
Yeah. For the last, I don't know, a few months, all my close friends have been like, yo, you should go see a therapist. Like, I love you and everything. You should see a therapist. And I just recently started going, and after the first time, I felt so much better.
Dude, you're going to feel fucking, I'm proud of you. You're going to feel fucking bulletproof about a year from now.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
Yeah,
because
it can be gut wrenching at first.
And I'll be honest, it was super fucking, I'm being a pussy, or why can't I just figure it out myself?
Yeah, this is weird. On this guy on the couch.
Yeah, and
talking to a shrink.
I'm like, I do this all the time on my podcast. You fucker. No, no, but it's dude, it felt so good because I would consider myself like a really rational thinker, and then I started talking to this lady who's my therapist, and she's super rational as well. I mean, she's normal. I mean, I don't know. She's my therapist, bro.
That's kind of hot, man. Even if she's like a 6, it's like an 8 just because she's your therapist.
No, I'm not.
You tell her all your problems. I've seen this before.
I can't do it.
I've seen this documentary before.
Oh my God. No, but it just have someone to explain something to you from a way different perspective than you're used to constantly seeing it. Which is it doesn't even have to be a therapist, but someone else in your life who can give you an outside, unbiased perspective.
Yeah, there you go.
Is so damn important, man. Because a lot of times what happens in life is especially social media, you'll notice this happening. People, you say you're in a group of friends and you guys all believe this one thing, and it just kind of perpetuates the same ideas. And on social media, you're even with algorithms, things you like, you see more of. Things you you comment about, you see more of. So it's you're constantly being fed the same thing you kind of already know versus some outside view of something being well, have you looked at it this way? And then there was moments with this lady and she was like, well, what about this? And I was like, oh, fuck. I didn't think of it that way.
Right.
And then it changed my perspective. You just need that. So that's not your bros always be like, let's say if it's a girl, probably be like, yeah, fuck that bitch. She's fucking, she's no good for you, man. Or girls be like, oh, he's no good for you. He's a dog. But versus someone being like, well, what about all these other things? And have you looked at it like this? And, maybe you have. And then what about these?
Maybe this is how this is making that person feel.
Exactly. And people they tend to just look to their closest people. And a lot of times, guys or girls will look to their girls or their guys, their friends. And those people are always going to be on their side. Yeah. So it's not unbiased. It's very biased. They're going to be like, oh, yeah, he's no good for you. Fuck that guy. Or, oh, she's a bitch.
They're not going to jump on the other person's side
100%.
And look at it from that perspective.
So having some outside perspective, guys, is if you really feel like you need something like this in your life, don't wait. I waited for so long.
Yeah.
I waited for a long time because I did it was called sand tray when I was a kid, where you sat and basically I just played with figurines in the sand and with little army characters and stuff like this. Right. And there's a therapist would just talk to me for hours. So I did that a ton when I was a kid after my father's death. And then I was like, oh, this is stupid because I got a little bit older.
Right.
And then as I'm older and I'm doing the same thing just without the I wish the army things were still there. I would still fucking do it. But now I'm like, fuck, this is helping me. Like I left there like with a smile on my face. I was like ready to fucking get on Twitter and say some like inspirational shit because I felt really good.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I just think I think and I wish more people would just talk about their problems. Because you're right, man, with this whole social media thing, it's very like everyone posts their highlight reel. Everyone posts everything that's perfect and right and going good. And no one, it's almost like everyone else is looking at all these people that they follow and look up to and they're like, holy shit, that guy's life's perfect. My life is like fucked. And then they're afraid to talk about it with other people because they're used to everyone else being like, amazing life, Instagram, my amazing photo. But then they're like, well, and they almost feel like they get like closed or they get trapped in this like, well, fuck, my life's not like that.
Right. Yeah.
And they're afraid to talk about it because they know everyone else is seeing the same person that they're looking up to. And they're like, that person is great. And like, I want to be great. And if I want to be great, I gotta look great and I gotta be great and I gotta like not have any problems because they don't look like they have problems. And it's just not fucking real.
Right.
This is not the reality.
It's not true. Yeah.
Anyways.
I think, in general, I think a lot of us could do a better job of looking within ourselves, without being too deep and without getting all weird. There's I think that people need to look within themselves. Like we go in the gym and we smash it and we work out. Bradley's stuffing his fat face.
Oh
right now
my god!
with the biggest bite of In-N-Out burger.
Let me get my burger,
seen.
bro.
I'm listening though.
You eat pussy like that?
Oh my god, I do. I'm listening though.
Yeah, I will in a second for sure. We're always working out and we're always like working on ourselves and we're working on. If you just think about it in the simplest terms, we're working on our outer self, right? We're working on like the way that we look. We're working on our appearance. But when you talk about martial arts and when you talk about, I was just talking name drop. I was just talking to Chuck Liddell, and immediately the first thing that he talked about before he talked about martial arts was how it's a mind, body, spirit connection, and that's never really mentioned about. No one really talks about that in fitness. We don't even realize.
Mark,
it.
you want to know something?
We don't realize that this is healing us, not for health purposes, but it's healing us mentally.
You know what my logo stands for? I just explained to that guy.
The zoo?
No, the Being Fit Diamond.
Oh, go ahead.
It's 3 things you just said plus 1 more. So the things that I think are really important for like a person: mind, body, spirit, heart. Like, and heart being the thing that like almost like your ability to be like, oh, I'm gonna fucking overcome this because it means a lot to me.
Right.
Spirit, being the thing like your connection with like the rest of the world, like energy, like the vibes, feelings. Like when you talk to someone, you're like, I don't know about that fucking guy. Like, it felt kind of weird.
Yeah, why does that happen sometimes?
I mean, mind and body, obviously, physical, body, mind, mental.
Connected.
So those are. It's funny how you say those things. Those are literally 3 of the things that in my original logo, the colors represented those 3 things to me, and then those 4 things, excuse me, and then the 4 diamonds were each one of those 4 things.
Oh, I got you.
And the logo for the zoo was these 4 diamonds. They're just 4 different triangles, right? Different shapes. I wanted to like mesh that into this, but let it be its own separate thing.
Right.
And then originally you think of zoo and you think of animals and people, right? So, so first off, the Being Fit, my initial thing was about being the best person, like. And I thought those 4 things are important to be the best person or the best version of yourself. Like working on those things. Because some people are better here, better there. Making those things the best possible for you. And then I put into the gym situation was like, okay, what matters? And the idea of like zoo, you think of animals, you think of people being like, beasts and stuff. But it's more like you're a different type of animal. You're a different type of animal. Everyone is a different type of person that has different goals, different dreams, different aspirations, different weaknesses, different strengths. And then the idea that we're in a place trying to create a culture, and this red bar is the idea that no matter what type of animal we are, no matter what type of goals we have, no matter black, white, whatever, doesn't matter, skin color, we're all human. The red line, the bloodline, we're all human. Right. And we're all in this together trying to be better.
That's cool.
So like the individual and the gym setting, then being in the culture, in the group setting.
Right.
So that's why I tried to blend the 2. And that's a conversation I had with the dribble guy out there.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was interesting when you said those 3 things.
Yeah, those dudes just rolled up, and like each guy's got like 1 million followers, and
homies, man.
But it's great when you run into people that don't need anything. I think sometimes guys that are in a position like yourself and guys that are in a position like myself, a lot of times that is what we run into. You run into people that kind of need stuff, but right away there's just a lot of sharing going on. You were talking to them about certain connections that you have. They were talking to you about certain connections that they have. I was hooking them up with slingshots and hip circles before they can even buy
like, hey, you want some free shit?
Yeah, before they can even buy an energy drink. You know, I was giving them the full court press right away. But then also in return, you know, they're telling me, I can hook you up with this guy, I can hook you up with that, get you free stuff for your gym. It's like, I just meant them 4 seconds ago. But it's because none of us have to hang anything over each other's heads. And there's a connection between all of us that is like almost unsaid. But it is there's been a mind, body, spirit connection through physical fitness, through training ourselves. The one guy a little bit more so basketball than actual like lifting. Yeah. But it's all very similar. And a lot, I think, you know, people see me at coffee shops here and there, and they stop and they'll talk to me like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, they don't know why I'm at a fucking coffee shop, but I'd rather do my thinking kind of outside. I just like, I like being out of my house. Yeah. And I like just being out and about, and I like just being around people. I like the noise of it, even though a lot of times I'll wear headphones, listen to music or whatever, but I like to just think. And I think not enough people are just thinking. So whether you are depressed or have anxiety, or even if you don't have any of those things, I think it's still your job to fucking think and not just be a meathead, not just go in the gym and just train. People need to stop working out so much and they need to work in. They need to work inside themselves more. Yeah. And they don't ever fucking go in there at all. I mean, I know a lot of people, like I've had people on the podcast before. We got nothing to talk about.
Because it's fucking scary for most people. Because like confronting like who you really are inside is always like your deep secrets.
It can be
what's really inside of you.
Yeah. It can be gut wrenching, but I do highly advise for people to, whatever is going to get you there, whatever will get you to that mode and to feeling in that way, whether it's certain types of music or whether it's certain types of messages that you hear on YouTube, whether it's listening to you or listening to me or listening to anybody who speaks of motivation or anyone who talks psychology, any of these kind of things, they can get you in a mode where you're doing a little bit of soul searching. And what people will find is that when they work on themselves, it's called personal development. When you work on personal development, you will be a stronger person. You will be a better person, and you'll be somebody that'll be able to monetize your life very easily. Things will come to you with a snap of a finger. I'm sure people, I mean, a lot of times, like even with the gym, the zoo culture thing, I'm sure it probably didn't take that much thought. Hey, what are you going to name it? Boom, zoo culture. Like there's probably been a bunch of examples like that. When you name a particular supplement or when you name a new line of whatever, you probably just almost just have it because you've already done some of that.
I mean, yeah, it's like the things you do so much work over the years and you think so much about where you want to eventually be that sometimes things feel like they come natural, but it's really just you've been thinking about it for so long. So I think it does all start up here, man. And I mean, if you just take it even physically, like bodybuilding, powerlifting, like where does it all start? Everything starts from a signal from your brain to your arms, your hands, your legs. Yeah. And it's just like, that's a real specific physical like signal. Right. But like the same thing for the rest of your life. How do you think anyone accomplishes anything? It's not just by like just doing shit. Like it's about thinking of it before it becomes a reality, always.
You got to the gym in the first place because you had some sort of like inferior thought.
Absolutely.
Like you thought like, I'm not built enough to go talk to that chick, or I'm not built enough to like fight that guy or whatever.
Yeah, I want to talk about this too because a lot of people always do this. And one of the things that gets me, man, is like finding out your why. And people always tend to like, you know, why are you working out? Oh, I want to look better. Okay, well, like it's deeper than that, right? It's always deeper than that. Well, why do you want to look better? Oh, I want to feel better. Well, why do you want to feel better? I get so afraid to say the thing is like, I just don't feel good about myself because when I was in, 2 years ago, this girl dumped me and cheated on me with this guy who was bigger and more jacked. And no one wants to share that story. Like, and it really fucks with them. And it really
and more jacked.
Whatever.
The guy always has a huge cock.
Whatever, exactly, something. And you're just like
every story ends with that.
I don't
begins with it.
I never hear that. I just want to point that out, anyways. But the problem is this: is just like people. No one wants to like get like. Obviously, I don't expect everyone to share that with me, whatever your deep thing is. Right. But I want you to think about what really is making you do what you're doing today, like training or trying to be a powerlifter, trying to be a YouTuber. Like, why are you doing it? Once you figure that out and you lock that in, you're able to be like, this is what's really driving me. That's when you have so much fucking energy to never stop. Because everyone's like, oh, how do I stay motivated? And, I do it for 6 weeks and I'm like, fuck this shit. And it's like, you got to get to that, like, why the fuck you do anything? No, people, like, they just go, I want to be stronger. No, that's not why. That's fucking not why. There's never the fucking reason. I just want to be stronger because it's cool. Well, why is it cool? What does it mean? How is it cool? It's cool because, oh, you're tough, or people think you're strong. Okay, well, why? Why does it matter to you? Why the fuck does that matter? No one goes deep enough to be like, well, it matters to me because when I was in this grade, someone treated me like I was this, and I felt like shit, and I cried every night for fucking 3 weeks.
Like, okay, now we're getting somewhere.
No, exactly. No one talks about that because they want to hide it away. They want to be like, no, this didn't happen. They want to not tell anybody. They want to make it so it's not real. It's fucking real, and if it happened to you, use that to fucking benefit you. Like, anyone great in this world done great things because they've been through something. I'm not saying you can't do great things because, you never gone through anything, but you need to find a real reason why you're doing what the fuck you do.
Right.
Otherwise, you're going to get unmotivated in 6 weeks, in 1 year, in 2 years. You're going to be like, oh, I hit a plateau and I'm just like, fuck it now. And I don't know why. It's like, you got to figure out what's that thing that started you in the fucking first place. You always talk about remember why you started, not just stronger, bigger, leaner. There's a reason why you don't feel good about yourself. What is that reason? And then once you figure that out, you never get unmotivated because you can look back on when you felt that way and be like, nah, fuck that. I'm never feeling that way again. And then you prove that to yourself.
Yeah.
And people don't do that. They're just like, I want to hide that shit away, lock that bitch up and never talk about it.
A whole nother level. It's not even like motivation. Like you feel on fire.
No, it's like
when you tap into shit like that.
Exactly. That's the kind of shit. Like I'll be ready to pull a deadlift and I'll think about my father and losing my father, what it felt like to me. And the fact that when I get older, I want to have 2 kids. I want to be there for my fucking kids, and how much like almost anger, not in a sense I'm mad, right? But anger in a sense of like, I'm going to fucking do this. And everything that I do right now is for that to be everything that I've always wanted it to be because I didn't have it. Right. So I can think of that moment and I could be in tears before I'm about to hit a fucking deadlift and rip that shit off the fucking floor because it matters to me. Not because I want to lift weight, because it fucking matters to me. Not say, oh, this is so cool, because it really means something to me. It's not the deadlift. It's not the squat. It's like, this shit means something to me, my heart, my body, everything that I am as a person, it means something to me. And that's why I've always done all the shit that I've done.
Right.
And that's why I still try and be better. But that's also why then I get like carried away and I'm like, fuck, I need to keep doing all these things because I want to reach enough people. Like I had a kid come up to me the next one. He's like, oh man, you're like a dad to me. You're like a father figure to me. Because he grew up similar with his father wasn't there. His father didn't take his life, but his father was not there. And he told me, and I'll be honest, man, that was one of the most fulfilling moments in my life. When someone tells me something like that, because that's all I've ever wanted to give back. I wanted to give that feeling that I didn't have. Like, because I would see it with my friends. My friends had it because I'd go hang out with their family, their dad, and see that.
Yeah.
And he'd give some to me too, as like, it's the older gentleman would be like, oh, good job with this or that, like sports or some shit. But I was never my dad. Right. And I was like, damn, I want what that is. And I never had it. So being able to give that back to people was the most rewarding thing in my life, man. And that's what drives me now.
It's extremely powerful. I think a lot of times, people think about willpower. And they're, like you said, with motivation, their motivation will waver. Your willpower will waver. All these things, they'll come and go. But you have to build habits. And your habits can be built through whatever goal it is that you set out. But if you don't like dig deep, if you don't go a couple questions deep on yourself, I always tell people, you find out that people don't know what the fuck they're talking about as soon as you go 3 questions deep on it.
Always. Oh my God, this goddamn fucking industry.
It could be anything. Like if someone says, man, oh, I love doing dynamic effort squats. And you're like, why?
Exactly.
And then you go 3 questions deep and they don't have an answer.
They don't know why they're doing it.
And you're like, fuck, man. Okay. We don't really know. I mean, it's a principle that the Russian weightlifters used to use called the principle of awareness. Like they had to know what they were doing and why they were doing it, because otherwise, why would they care?
Yeah.
Why would you care what you're doing?
It's fucking real.
If I told you to use 55%, if you really don't know why, if you don't know the intent, how are we going to? Nothing great has ever been done without intent. There has to be an intention. If I tell you to go shoot 50 free throws after practice every day, if I don't explain it to you why and how I want you to execute that, Bradley, your free throw percentage sucks compared to these other guys. At the end of the game, they're going to foul you, and we're going to lose a fucking game unless you learn how to make these free throws. We can win some big-time games if you learn how to make these free throws. Now, when you shoot these free throws, I want you to think about your elbow. I want you to think about you go over the whole fucking thing. You communicate exactly what it is that you want. Now you know how. Now you know why. And when you sit there and you got through 50 of them, what are you going to do? You can be like, hey, coach, I did 60 of them.
And it then becomes habit.
It becomes a habit, and then it's anchored in.
And it's the same thing you said earlier about you meet some people, and like people who might be somewhat on that page with you, they just mesh with you, and there's no like friction.
And it's weird almost.
It is.
Because you're like, why is this happening right now?
It's just so simple.
Why is this all so
and
chill
you're like,
right
yeah,
now?
this is like exactly what I needed. And that only starts to happen when you're fucking honest with yourself. And when you go through all the things that you know you really need to go through, but you've been avoiding for so long, and you just say fucking do it, and then you meet people, and then it's just it meshes, man. It blends.
You need to have your head down. You need to be fucking doing the shit that you're supposed to do when you don't normally want to do it.
Yeah.
You know, that's a thing that goes again back to habits. If it's just willpower, you're not going to make it. Like if we're talking about diet and you're just trying to just use willpower, you will not make it. You will crack.
Yeah.
If you're trying to be faithful to somebody, you will not make it. You will crack if it's only willpower. There has to be habit designed behind everything, and then there has to be a commitment level to yourself to whatever those goals are that you want to, whatever those things are that you want to do.
Yeah.
And whatever that person is that you want to be, everything has to be connected towards that. And you don't need to be a psychopath about it. You are going to slip up and you are going to mess up. You are going to eat an In-N-Out cheeseburger.
Yo, I used to be a psychopath about it.
I know you can't, and that's tough. But
Kev,
see,
did I tell this story?
I can't.
Remember the story? The I used to run every night and then ride my bike to the gym and then ride my bike back.
Yeah, dude. And then like your fucking dick stopped
My
working.
dick stopped working. Yeah, I used to be a psychopath. Should I tell the story? I'll tell the story.
Tell the story again.
It's on your podcast.
Hold on a second. Were you running and your dick was dragging on the ground and you beat
Pretty
the
much.
shit out of it
And it's not working.
had no more,
No,
no
man.
more feeling?
When I was a freshman in college, I was 18 years old. I got this is when I was into fitness, but this is when I like got fucking psycho into fitness, like OCD into fitness, and this is before I knew how much to eat, how much to train. Like
This is back when you wanted to be like Michael Hearn, right?
no,
I'm just kidding.
no, this is back when I was just like I wanted to do everything, and so I tried.
You
to
wanted
do
to be able to run. You wanted to be able to lift heavy.
Yeah.
You wanted to look jacked.
So
and
every
be
night
ripped
at
all
7
the same
p.m. I
time.
would run the. This is in Sacramento, where your shitty gym is. I'm just kidding. I love your gym. I'm kidding. I'm gonna be up there soon, though. I promise. I actually mean that. I promise.
You won't be.
No, I will. I promise, dude.
It's okay.
I promise. I got you.
I'm nobody.
No,
It's all
no,
right.
you're not nobody, man. You're fucking
I'll
Mark
just
Bell.
be up there.
Mark Smelly Bell.
Let's be up there counting my money and counting my disappointment.
Be like fucking. Anyways, so the American River, I used to run it every single night at like 7 o'clock on the dot. Because that's how my schedule worked out. 7 o'clock on the dot, I would sprint it. I'd do like 8 or 9 sprints. I would just pick
Andrew's writing this workout down right now. He's gonna fucking try it.
Don't do this.
He's gonna try it.
You're too skinny for this. Don't do this. Because I'm telling you, man, this was like I just want to point this out. I had a vein from like my dick to my nipple, and my skin was like as thin as my whole body.
Dick
was just
skin.
like dick skin, whole body. So, anyways, don't do this, guys. By the way, this is a fuck. I'll tell you. Anyways,
Now everyone's gonna do it though.
I sprint it. I'm sprinting every single night. I do like 8 times, like 8 sprints and like little walk jogs in between. And I would just pick markers and I'd sprint them as hard as I could, like as hard as I could. And then from there, I'd walk back to my dorms were at Desmond Hall in Sac State. And I'd walk back. I get my bike, a little BMX bike, and I'd ride it like 2 miles to like a 24-hour fitness to whatever, however far it was. It took me like 20 minutes or something like that. So after doing cardio, I would ride my bike, more cardio, to the gym to work out for like 2 hours, full body every single time, ride my bike back, and then I would go like, this is where I got fucked up. And I got to explain this. I would walk around 100% of the time, even to the point where I'd be uncomfortable trying to fall asleep, keeping my abs tight. I thought that if I didn't keep my abs tight, that I would lose them. Listen to me. Listen, this is serious. Like, I'm talking about like sometimes like imagine us having a conversation. I'd be sitting up, my abs would be tight the whole fucking time. I'd be in class like taking like small breaths and shit. My abs would be tight the whole time. I'd lay down
flex.
trying to fall asleep, flexing straight up the whole time. Like I'd be trying to fall asleep. Like I wonder if I could flex in my sleep. Like that's literally what's going on in my head.
Looking like Simeon Panda 24/7.
And then like straight up like if I ate anything, I'd do like 50 push-ups. If I ate anything, I had dumbbells in my room as well, and I would be doing curls. And I'd be doing anything. I'd be doing like Arnold presses, everything. Like to the point where like I probably showered like 6-7 times a day because I was so. Now, what happened was at the same time I was eating like, oh, I'm healthy. I ate cottage cheese, spinach, chicken breast, egg whites, blueberries.
0 grams of fat.
0 grams of fat, literally 0 grams of fat. And like I was like, oh, this is healthy. It got to the point where I'd wake up every single like 20 minutes pissing.
Shit.
I was like peeing every single. I was like, I'm not getting any. This is when I went to the doctor. This is when it got really bad, and then my dick wasn't working. So I told the doctor, like, because I had a girl, and then my girl would come over and be like, oh, whoops.
Doesn't normally happen to me.
Yeah, sorry.
Whoops.
Yeah. So I went from there to like waking up every night. So dick didn't work. Waking up every night, like peeing constantly. Going to the doctor and being like, yo, this is going on with me. And he's like, well, try this Viagra, which worked, by the way. But then it didn't. It only worked when I was on that. And then I'm talking about us 18 years old.
Shit.
And then he's like, well, what are you doing? I told him, he's like, okay, stop all this shit. Like, chill out. Start eating more food and work out. And that's when I really got into studying like nutrition.
Train less, fuck more.
Well, you know how it goes.
The Bradley Martyn book.
No, it was really just like, that's when I took a nutrition class and I started learning about hormones, about diets, about like really how this shit worked and why it worked. And I got so fucking like into this because it started like, I started to change, I started to feel better. And I got so like, I feel so good. But it took me a good like, I'd say 1.5 to 2 years to feel normal again. Because I was fucked, dude. Like, anyways, that was one of my stories, I think, is when you talk about getting crazy about it.
Yeah, that was
I'm
a
telling
lot
you
of
guys
people.
not to get crazy, like, slow down sometimes.
There's a lot of people that get crazy about their fitness. A lot of people get crazy about their life. You know, it doesn't matter what
Hold
it
on,
is.
I gotta keep my abs tight.
Mine have been tight the whole show.
Oh, you a fucking psycho. I love you, bro.
I do think a lot of people think that you know, for us
Whose
that
burgers is?
I think it's yours.
Okay.
Steve's.
Oh,
Okay, whatever.
you bought it, right?
Yeah.
Fuck Steve.
No. Steve, my boy. I love Steve.
What does Steve do?
He's my new assistant. That sounds weird.
You have a guy assistant? That's gay.
How is that gay, dude?
What the
That's
fuck
my
are you
homie.
talking about?
What, I'm supposed to have a girl assistant? Isn't that your
Yeah.
assistant?
Aren't you supposed to bang your assistant?
No, dude. No, that's
No,
that's
Andy's
gonna
not
create
my
issues.
assistant.
This is the reason why we got a guy assistant. Because it would have been an issue.
Oh, because it would have been a problem. You can't fuck the workers.
Yeah.
Well, now if you do, it's a guy. So that's a bigger problem, I think.
No. There's no fucking of any of the workers, bro. You can't do that in
There
college.
might be. That happens with people's assistants all the time.
Not mine, bro. That's why we made it that way.
What about when you need to discipline him?
You just be like, you fucked this shit up.
What about when he's been a bad boy? I mean, there's got to be
bro,
something.
chill out. Chill out.
You're not going to spank him or anything?
No,
I mean,
I'm not going to spank a grown-ass man.
Wow, this is getting to be really complicated.
Well, that's how you do it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this business, but it doesn't sound like it's operating properly.
I should be spanking them.
No, not him. You need to fire him. You need to get a girl in here. A guy assistant? Are you for real?
Yeah, bro.
That ain't gonna work.
Why not?
Men don't know how to do that stuff. I don't think. Maybe I'm too old fashioned. Some of my lady listeners are like, I'm never listening to this show again.
Yeah, you fucked up.
Oh no, I'm sorry, ladies. Please come back.
Please come back to the Mark Bell
No,
show.
there's just women are better at certain things than dudes are. This
agree.
guy's gonna forget shit. He's not gonna write shit down.
I agree.
He's gonna be like, he's gonna do like the jerk off thing to you all the time. Every time when he's talking to you on the phone, you know that Steve does that.
What's he do?
He does a fucking jerk off move.
Oh, yeah,
He's
does.
like, whatever, and then throws it at the end. the little, the little toss.
You make
at
it
the
rain?
end. Yeah, he's totally doing that.
Whatever.
A girl wouldn't do that. A girl would just write it down, and that would be the end of it.
She'd be like, jerk off motion. Fuck this guy.
She'd have to write it down and then put an eggplant emoji. Anyway, tell me about this gym. What's going on with this thing? How long have you had it for?
Almost 9 months, right, Kev? May 27th, we opened up.
Yeah, 9 months.
Wow.
What's
Sorry.
going on with this place? What's the goal as you stuff your face with French fries? This is not a very good representation of
Sorry.
fitness, by the way,
I'm
Bradley
so sorry,
Martyn.
man. I was just really hungry. Okay.
Yeah, you were hungry. Damn.
I'm ready to eat all that.
Kevin, you got to
actually.
feed this guy.
Yeah, man. The fuck.
Shit.
I'm
So-
not Steve, bro.
Okay.
Where the fuck, Steve? Where is he? He's not even here.
It's okay. It's okay.
Dude, he's not doing a very good job. I'm going to talk to fucking Steve after this.
He's gonna be like,
He's
Fuck
totally
this guy.
going to do that.
fuck this guy. No, man, the gym's going good. Really good. I want to open more. Yeah. We're in the process of figuring that out right now. Locations.
And you got
I
some
think we're gonna open it. Where's your guys' gym located?
Sacramento!
I think we're gonna open it next door.
That'd be great.
Yeah, we're gonna open a free zoo culture next to yours.
Free powerlifting for everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody
we're-
needs it.
And I'm just gonna be like, why go there when you can go here?
This is freer.
It's more free. We give you shit when you come here, and it's also free. Yeah,
I kind of do that at my gym.
yeah, I know. I'm kidding. I'm not gonna open up there. I think we're gonna open Indianapolis. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What's going
'Cause
on
we
in
have
Minneapolis?
Well, we have a friend who wants to open a gym who would be the thing is like you got to give
Who
a
is
fuck
this
about
guy?
it.
Let me talk to this guy. Who is this guy?
I can't tell you yet.
All right.
Still a surprise.
All right.
I can tell you after podcast. But he's someone who actually cares about like the whole culture,
That's
the
cool.
idea like of powerlifting, like really being a part of it. So he's someone who would be great as a gym owner.
Have you wanted to have a gym for a long time?
Yeah, dude, my whole life. I've always like my initial goal wasn't to have like this gym. It was to have like honestly, because like before the internet, I was like, oh, I just want to have like a little small studio where I can like have a few things and like train people. That was my original goal.
Are you fired up to come here every day?
Yes, I
That's cool.
had a period where I wasn't, but
Yeah, it'll come and go. There'll be times.
yeah, dude, I love it here. I come here legit every day. Like I tell people, they're like, I'm coming to Zoo Culture. I'm like, well, you probably see me as long as you're there from like maybe like 10 to 2, because like I'm not always here in the night. But lately, I have been actually training in the evening.
You've been training harder again, right?
A lot harder.
What you doing?
Um,
You want to get stronger again?
yeah, I need to get bigger again. I mean,
What's the body weight at now?
my body weight is 249 right now.
Do you weigh yourself every day?
No, but normally I weighed like 265. So I don't know if I necessarily want to be 265.
That doesn't sound very natty.
Come on, bro. But I want to be like 255, but I want to improve certain body parts, but strength as well. Strength. My goal this year is to pull 800 pounds.
Damn.
So that's my goal. That's my biggest strength goal.
What's your best deadlift? Have you done 700 before?
Yeah, 705. And at the time, I think like shortly after, I would have probably been around like a 725, maybe 750 if I was feeling real good about myself. So I think I'm probably around 700 now. But 800,
You're always pretty strong, right? Even at your weakest, you're pretty strong. I mean, I've seen you.
Yeah.
I've seen you squat and stuff before. Like I think I've seen you do the safety squat bar. I want to say with like 6 plates on it.
7
plates on it for some reps, right?
Yeah, but it's
I know you're hanging onto the rack.
Yeah, the
or what-
Hatfield.
Yeah, and people are like, oh, but
Yeah.
that's a lot on a safety squat bar. That's a fuckload of weight.
Yeah.
I challenge anybody to put that shit on there. That
Well,
shit-
the weights are fake here, as everyone says they are. Yeah,
they are.
Yeah, dude, didn't you know you lifted? It's all fake.
Damn.
Why do people do that, man? Why do people say that kind of shit?
I don't know. Well, because some people are using fake plates.
Yeah.
I think.
But why do the people think I am? Come to my gym.
I don't know. You've always been. I mean, you've always been pretty strong though. What's your best bench? How much you bench?
Yeah,
I've seen you
That's
bench
always
at
been
least 4 plates.
Yeah, that's always been my weakest
Been
lift. though.
documented.
That's always been my weakest lift. Yeah, I was at one point I was doing 4 for like some reps,
Yeah.
like fucking 10 reps. I never really tried to max out because I think I was been afraid because it's so like personally.
You can hurt yourself pretty easy on a bench. It's a little
Yeah.
the squat and deadlift. I mean, you can hurt yourself, but
Deadlifts I love because I feel like you can just like
drop the weight.
Yeah, if you don't feel good, you're like done.
Yeah.
Benching is like, oh, this shit's above me.
Yeah.
Like, still got to press it off at some point.
You blow out a shoulder or a pec and you're fucking toast.
Yeah, and I think I've always been kind of weary or scared of that. But like this time around, I think I'm gonna really like actually get ready to do some sort of meet, man. Because I want to get
You're
800
pretty strong on a
deadlifts.
lot of exercise in the gym. Though. I trained this morning with Mike O'Tren at 4 a.m. And that guy is. Have you ever trained with him before?
No, but we're gonna do is we were planning on doing something.
He always says that.
Yeah,
But you always say it too, so who knows? It'll never happen. Now it really never happen.
Oh, fuck.
If 2 negatives equal a positive, so
shit.
maybe it will happen. I don't know. No,
Dude, I'm not negative though.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Mike is he's incredibly strong on everything. I mean, it doesn't matter
well, he's
what
natural.
it is.
That's why.
I don't know what he's got going on.
I don't know.
He
I'm
claim-
just fucking around.
He claims he is. I don't know. He's pretty
It's all good.
unbelievably enormous. So it's a hard thing to believe.
How old is he?
He's probably 46 or 7.
For sure, natural. Then.
Yeah, it's like
It's
what
easy at
the-
that age.
It just it's easy to pack on a lot of size.
A lot of fat-free muscle at that age.
He's an interesting guy, but regardless of what he
Right.
does or doesn't do, he is incredibly strong, and it doesn't matter what exercise it is. You know,
Yeah.
he's good at it could be fucking hack squat or whatever.
Yeah.
Are you strong like that? Are you strong on a lot
Random
of the
shit.
just any of the
Lots
gym
of random,
lifts?
lots of random gym
Yeah.
random lifts. Yeah.
You don't know where the bench is at.
No.
What
I
about the
don't.
squat? How much can you squat?
I don't know. I haven't done either of those in so long. I think it's I got to start getting more comfortable with just like doing it.
Yeah.
Like, and saying fuck it and trying.
You having someone help you with a program or anything like that, or you just kind of do your own thing?
I've always kind of just done my own thing, like legit for years. I've always just kind of worked out. I wouldn't. It's weird because like people, like I've always trained, but I've never. You know, when I think of training, when someone's you go to train, it means like you're going to like do a specific exact thing.
Right.
I've never really done that. It's always been like working out, and I have to say that like because when you're training,
there's a difference.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I worked out fucking hard, and I pushed and I try to get stronger all the time. But I've never really like trained where I'm like, I'm gonna do this amount of sets, this amount of reps. I'm gonna have this percentage, and like you know what powerlifters do, and that's something that like I've always wanted to do, and that's something I'm gonna do. I've never done it. It's always just been like, let me just get in the gym and lift more every single time if I can.
One thing I think a trap that powerlifters run into is a lot of times that because they get involved in these percentages, they try to do a certain amount of work. They try to do a certain amount of sets and reps and percentages. Yeah. And then they end up spending way too long on the main movement. And they don't ever get along to the assistance exercises. You probably have pretty much thrived on assistance exercises, right?
Like all assistance exercises. Right. Like bodybuilding type stuff.
Right. That was the thing with O'Hearn today. It's like we did 4 movements for triceps, 4 movements for biceps. I mean, it took a while because we did like 4 sets of everything that we did for the whole day.
Is that why you still got a pump?
I still got a pump. Yeah.
Your arms are big right now.
I see.
Yeah.
I'm coming for you, buddy.
Well, you're already there. You got big ass arms.
I know. I need to. I've torn both my arms. I've torn both my pecs. I've torn both my biceps. I've torn my fucking hamstring. I'm still standing here though.
It's because you're legendary. That's why.
It was funny today training with Mike because Mike is just. I don't know, man. He's just got an interesting way about him. He can be like demeaning to you without even like he knows he's doing it, but it's just his way. It's just his way. You know, he's talking about how he's held it all together for through the years, and I'm just thinking, he's talking about how he held it all together for all these years, right?
Held what?
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Held what together, right? Just his like body, like just him. Like, 'cause I'm telling him like I tore some stuff. My brother's got 2 fake hips and stuff, and. We're just,
and he's like, I'm just great.
Yeah, basically.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. He's like, I've been able to hold it together because, I really pay attention to, A, B, and C. I'm like, motherfucker, I had 1,085 on my back. I've had 900 pounds in my hand on a bench press.
Fuck ton of weight.
I've had 900 fucking pounds in my hands on a bench press. Of course, I'm going to be a
those
little
levels
fucked
are
up.
way different.
Yeah, and you know what? I feel better now today than I ever have in my whole life. So it's like, I've recovered from a lot of those things. And yeah, I still got some bumps and bruises. I'm still working some things out, but I want to try to get some of that athleticism back. So you and I are 2 ships in the night,
trading a little bit,
passing each other, heading in a little bit of opposite directions.
Do you think you can do both?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because there's just give and take though. You can't be chasing 2 things.
Because I don't think I'm going to ever squat 1,000 pounds.
Right.
So I'm going to fall somewhere before that and try and maximize that and still be able to stay athletic. That's my goal.
Yeah.
But I understand at certain points you have to pivot and be like, I'm going to focus on just this to get that.
It depends on what you're talking about. I mean, certain things are hard to obtain. For me to improve my athleticism, I have to make drastic changes. For you to improve your strength, the changes don't have to be that drastic.
Yeah.
It just has to be a little bit more focused.
Structured.
For me, I'd have to do stuff that I've never done before. I'd have to work on more mobility type stuff. I'd have to put myself in positions that I probably don't want to put myself in, in order to be a little bit more mobile so I can do more stuff. Because things like box jumps and stuff, which should be very easy, they're just difficult for me because my hips are tight. And so it's hard for me to get most people when they do a box jump, they get their legs up very easily and they're able to complete a pretty high box jump.
Which is the biggest part of the box jump. It's not always not about how high you jump. It's like if you can get into that position, you can finish it.
It ends up being a big part of it.
A huge part of it.
What's the goal here with the gym? What's the goal with the zoo? Because you have some friends working here. You got like your boy Brandon. He fucking deadlifts over 800 pounds. He is the gym manager, right?
Bro, you mean Mason?
Mason.
There we go. Mason. Yeah.
And then Brandon is the guy that it's on the podcast where he used to powerlift too.
Yeah,
right?
he used to be very strong. Both very strong guys. Mason is the one who is currently killing the fucking powerlifting shit.
He's a fucking savage, man.
Super.
But he helps run the gym for you?
Yeah, he's the GM. So he makes sure everyone does what they're supposed to do and knows how to run everything.
Powerlifting seems to be a big part of this gym.
Yes. It is. Our biggest crowd is probably in the evenings from like 6, 7, 8 to like 12.
Does that get you fired up?
Yeah, and it does. It makes me. I want to train more, like with all those people,
right?
Those powerlifters, because it's so funny when you say those people in any circumstance.
Dude, you should. The energy that you'll get from it, the energy that they're going to get from it is going to be sick.
Yeah, and it's really just to show Mason that like I'm stronger than him.
Yeah,
just not currently.
Yeah, why is Mason got to be talking shit, right?
Yeah, because he's we used to train together. He was always
doesn't he squat like 800 pounds too?
Yeah, he's really strong.
That's a lot. I mean,
he's a really fucking strong guy. But he's still a pussy, you know.
What does he bench?
A lot too.
He fucking about 5 bills.
Yeah, he's strong. He's fucking strong.
Damn, dude.
But like I'm stronger than him.
You're gonna have to kick him out.
Yeah, or just like injure him. Yeah, and then I could beat his numbers.
Fucking hit his leg with a pipe or something like that.
Perfect, like old school mafia style.
Oh my god.
No more squats. No, I would never do that. No, but it's cool to be in a gym with someone that when I first started when I first started working out in Southern California, he was one of the people that I like originally trained with like fucking 10 years ago. So to see him go from like we're all squatting 300, 400 pounds, like struggling, and then see him squat like 800 pounds, doing pretty damn good, and then like 400 pounds is like a fucking breeze.
Yeah,
is crazy, man.
Well, now there's girls fucking deadlifting 400 or 500 pounds.
It is
squatting
it is
400 or 500.
crazy.
I don't understand.
You know what? It makes sense though, because prior
they're in good shape and stuff too.
Yeah, but prior to all the social media stuff, it just wasn't the availability. You didn't know what was going on and what people were doing, so it was just like likely some of that stuff was happening, just no one knew about it because like it's in some town you didn't live in.
Right.
You know, now that you see everything now, and I think also seeing everything, just like we were talking about earlier, it creates that whole like competition of like you see some girl over here doing this, and you're like, well, I could do that shit. And then it's a good and a bad thing.
Social media can be be great in a lot of ways.
Exactly, and I think it did aid to this. Like, oh, that guy's doing that, I could do that, and then people have something to. Because when you see someone doing something, you're like, some people will be like, "Fuck, it's really far away," you know, or "That's really great." But then some people will be like, "I can do that shit."
Right.
Because that was always the kind of person I was.
Well,
I remember
even when people see you doing certain things that are, like feats of athleticism, sometimes maybe like a trick or something a little crazy that you might.
I see it all over the internet now.
Yeah, then they want it, but at least hopefully nobody hurts themselves, but at least they try it, right?
Yeah.
And maybe they don't jump up on the same height box, but they jump on a higher box than they did 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and that's what it is. I think it's cool, and I want to make sure people know that like a lot of times I do stuff and like I don't actually train like that. Like I train like a powerlifter or a bodybuilder, and I just kind of done the wild shit just because I was like, someone's like, you can't do that, and I was like, fuck it, I could do it.
You're able to move pretty well. You're able to dunk a basketball and shit like that. You've always been fairly athletic.
Yeah, even prior to like all this, I've always been able to like do shit like that.
Yeah.
And it's obviously cool when you get on the internet and like that's cool to people. You know, to me, I was just like, oh, I always thought it was cool to me. Yeah. But like, I didn't always think like, oh man, people are going to really like accept this the way they did. And it's just like a cool thing now.
What is your favorite thing to do? Like when it comes to this job specifically, when it comes to Bradley Martyn, the fitness guy, what's your favorite thing to do?
Talking to people, doing this. This is hands down my favorite thing to do. Because through doing this, I've realized so much about myself.
Right.
I've learned so much from talking to people like you and other guests that I've had like on my podcast. And I've gotten better at like almost like digesting information that I'm given and like just talking and learning how to
you're like, oh wait, what I just say? I actually said something pretty smart. I should write that down.
Forming sentences and stuff. And for me, it really is just like, that's where the fulfillment is. Like I said, when you talk to someone and they say, this thing you said or the thing you did changed my life.
Right.
So I just keep looking for more of that. And the podcast right now, it's not like my biggest platform, but I tell you, man, like my podcast makes me no money, but I enjoy it the most. I enjoy it so much.
Yeah. You know what's the truth too about some of this stuff is, and this is not to be arrogant by any means or anything, but like I've had my podcast for the last about 4 years. And recently I changed the name of it, and it's for multiple reasons, but the bottom line is I don't need anybody to listen to this podcast. I don't need advertisers. I'm doing it because I want to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it and I want it to be fun, and I want to do it with people that I want. You know, if some of the listeners are suggesting guests and it's somebody that I see is fit to be on the show, then I'll have them on the show. But the show could have 3 listeners. It doesn't have to be. I want it to grow. It'd be stupid to say that you don't want it to grow. But it's something that I had to kind of step back for a second and realize that. The show was doing really well financially. We had a lot of advertising behind us. We had over 500,000 downloads, and we went right the other way just because things didn't feel right anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't like this. This is not the way it's supposed to go. This isn't feeling the right way, so we're pumping the brakes. And of course, you're going to catch some flack, from the fans. They're not sure what's going on exactly.
Yeah.
And so like, oh man, he's firing everybody, or he's booting everybody out the door, or this or that. No, it's because the message wasn't as pure as I wanted it to be, and I want to make sure that everything always stays comfortable for me to do.
Yeah.
I don't want to do shit that I don't want to do. I want to do stuff that I'm excited to do so I can provide a better message. How can I provide a good message to you if I'm fucking grumpy about anything I'm doing or I'm not happy with the people that I'm working with?
Yeah. I can tell you, man, like it's funny how like you just learn shit like that as you go through like shit.
Right.
Like period. Like I've learned so much just by doing this about other people, about myself, about the people who I work with. And I'm not saying this just to make it about myself, but like it genuinely is like it's almost like cathartic for me. It's like a type of therapy where like I feel good just talking about things that I've gone through, and if people can receive it and be like, "Wow, that helps me look at my life a little bit differently," then like that's the magic for me. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who's listening now on Mark's podcast, and anyone who's listening or has listened to my podcast, CultureCast. Is that like I'm just grateful that I'm able to do this. Like I said. I haven't done any advertisements yet. I do plan on doing stuff like that. But like to this point, like I still find myself, I can't wait to go do it. I can't wait to, have another guest because it's just like out of everything that I do, I really fucking enjoy this shit. Like in my core, man. Like when I leave these, I'm like, man, that felt so good. And I feel like I almost like got a weight off my shoulders. And I was like, damn, I feel good.
Well, you know how this works too. You don't have to really chase down anybody. When things are right and things are heading in the right direction, people will just come to you. And they'll say, hey, man, I want to advertise. We'd be like, we don't have an advertising on the show, but yeah, we'll think about it. And then when whoever that person is, it'll just be the right thing and it will feel right. And you'll be like, you'll talk to your guys and everyone will be like, yeah, fuck it. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
As
long as it's right.
Yeah. It's not anything that you have to really chase after. It'll just happen because you're having good guests on and you're communicating with a lot of people.
Yeah.
What's next for you?
Oh, the age-old question. What's next for you? Well, I've been trying to I haven't done this currently, but I'm going to do it. Is take some acting classes.
Awesome.
To get into acting because The Rock told me that that I was up next. He didn't really say that. I just wanted to sound cool.
Hey, thanks, Rock.
Yeah, thank you, Rock, for me thinking you said that.
He's listening right now. Hey, man, you don't have to wear the ST shirt all the time. You can change into other stuff, man. And the Zoo Culture hat, you can just fucking don't worry about it.
I'll hit you later, bro. Anyways, getting into that and getting back to training.
Where is The Rock?
What do you mean, where is he?
What? I mean, is he's too busy for us or what? I mean, what the fuck?
Bro, he's filming
He can't
Ballers.
hang out with
He's
us?
filming Ballers right now. He's in LA though. He's like down the street.
I know, but I just want him to hang out with us so bad.
I know, man.
I just want to be it's not that weird. I just want to sit on his lap for like
It's not weird at
10
all.
minutes.
It's so
This is
not
for like 10
fucking
minutes.
weird, you weirdo.
I'll just take a couple pictures. I mean, wrestle
On
around.
his lap.
Wrestle around
With
with him
oil?
and go one-on-one with the great one.
With
you know.
oil?
Yeah, there'll be a lot of oil. So what?
It's not weird at all.
No.
Huh.
No, we should be friends, Rock. Where are you at, buddy?
Yeah, but I don't know if he wants you to sit on his lap.
He's still
though.
listening.
I don't think he wants you to sit on his lap.
No?
No.
Bo Jackson's somebody else I got to get to.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was such a huge fan as a kid.
You know who I want to get, Kev? What's his name? Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, that's our guy.
I want him on the podcast, bro.
I need it.
Do you know who that is?
I do.
Yeah, oh man, I need him on the podcast, man. Damn.
Jordan. Yo.
Please come on the podcast. We need you. We need you in our life to expand our brains.
Where are these people? How come
They're just
I don't understand.
They're just killing it. I guess they had a meeting with
that
the
guy's talking about Drake. It's like, how come Drake's not hanging out with I don't get
Listen,
it.
they had a meeting with the Illuminati and we just weren't invited.
Damn,
That's
dude.
what happened, dude.
We're in here getting after it every day.
We're just not invited yet.
The
And when I get
Illuminati had
invited,
a rule?
when I invite it, I'll let you know. And if you get invited, let me know.
You're not going to let me know.
I will let you know, dude.
You're not
Just gotta
gonna
let me know too. Be like, hey,
Yo.
show up. It's time.
Yo, Drake's
I swear, there's some weird shit. I swear, there's some weird shit. It's got to be some weird
Dude,
shit.
when Drake comes through here, Invite me in here.
And I'm just gonna
I'll bake some cookies. I'll bring some milk and cookies.
You know what I'm
and
gonna
we'll
caption that
fucking hang
photo?
out.
You know what I'm
We'll
gonna
sit
caption
on
that
the
photo?
bench over there and we'll watch him train. It'll be awesome.
You know what I'm gonna caption that photo? Illuminati. Straight up.
Why are they involved?
Hug it, man.
How did all this happen? I think we should just draw this podcast out for like another
Yeah, let me call up Drake.
45 minutes.
Yeah, we should do it.
Yo,
Call
Drake,
him.
where you at?
I text him.
Just
be
call
like,
every popular person that's in our phone. Just right
Be
now.
like, come to this podcast.
Yo.
That would
yo,
actually
listen.
be cool. What time
Call
you-
up Stone Cold and Dana White. See what they're doing. Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's only down the street. Where's he at?
He's legitimately like.
He can't hang out with us?
We can't tell anyone that though,
Oh.
because we might have people like running around trying to phone Joe Rogan's place.
He's got a new spot, so he moved. So
Yeah.
hopefully nobody knows where that is.
Yeah.
But is he too busy for us too? I mean, where are these people?
He DMs me, bro.
He's sliding into your DM.
He slid into the DMs.
No way.
You did. You want to see?
That's gonna be fake.
I'll show you,
Dude, I know the shit that Kevin can do.
No, dude. No, I'll show you.
I worked with Kev over there before. I
I'll
know
show
he's
you.
capable.
What up?
I'll show you. This is top secret information.
He's in your DM.
Swear to God.
Come on, bro.
Oh, look.
Ain't no way no Joe Rogan's ever slid in your DM.
Huh? Look.
This is a total fabrication of the
Look.
truth.
Joe Rogan's profile.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. He's asking about me.
No,
What did he say?
You're stupid.
Yo, where's super
You're
training?
stupid. He didn't say none of that shit.
Yeah, he did. I need a slingshot.
Nah.
What is that?
He said, "Hey, brother, who did you guys use to assemble your gym stuff? I ordered a shitload of stuff, and I have to hire some people together." Yeah. Damn, he's
He
in my
didn't ask
DMs.
about me?
Nope. He said, "Oh wait, no." He said, "Mark's a bitch." Yeah. Sorry, dude.
He must be talking about a different.
No. He said, "Mark, Smelly Bell."
Oh, he must have.
No, he meant Mark. He
Those
said the one. He
typos.
said Mark Smelly Bell, the guy who used to be strong.
Yeah, I mean, you could stop
used
reading
to
your
be
DMs
strong.
now. I mean,
he
there's
used
really
to be
no reason.
strong. And that's it, dude. Yeah, he said, "Fuck that guy." I'm like, damn.
Anyway, I'm not even talking about Joe Rogan. I'm trying to talk about The Rock.
Yeah, he's in my DMs too. You want me to show you?
Where is he? The Rock is communicating with you?
Yeah, dude, he's in my DMs.
He's liking your pictures and stuff?
Yeah, he's in the DMs.
This
bro.
is bullshit.
Yeah, sorry, dude. I got the invite.
What do you have that on? Am I getting too old?
No, dude.
I'm falling apart.
You know what
just
it
tell
is?
me. Just tell me flat
I'm gonna
out.
tell you. I'm gonna tell
me.
you. You live in Sacramento. I live in LA.
Oh, I used
Sorry,
to live here.
dude.
I lived here for 20
Sorry.
years. Nobody cared.
Sorry, dude.
Oh my god.
I love you so much, bro.
This
Just
is
know-
the most disappointing day of my life.
I got
What is happening to me?
nothing. I got you no
Man.
matter what, bro. I got you.
All right, man. You know what? This was a lot of fun.
Okay.
Learned a lot about Mr. Bradley Martyn today.
Yes, sir.
Anything else to talk about, sir?
No, I just want to say thank you to everyone who listened, and I want to say I appreciate all the support. I really do. 'Cause
I
would-
appreciate
I'm
having
living-
you as a friend.
Yeah, you too, man. And I want to tell everyone who's listening to this podcast that after I didn't show up to Mark's spot, Mark called me and we still talked for like I'd say like a good hour and like maybe,
Romantic.
and we just talked about like pretty much everything that I kind of touched on, maybe a little bit deeper on a personal level. So I just want to say thank you, and just so the people listening know that like you're a real fucking person and not just some person on the internet trying to be a real person.
Yeah.
So just know that I appreciate you despite all this internet.
I'm
shit.
here, man.
Yeah.
You
for
know,
sure.
you need anything, I'm fucking here.
No, I mean it. And I want the listeners to know that. Because a lot of people like, people like to make shit sound cool on the internet, but like you do that off camera as well. And I just want people to
Awesome,
know
man.
that.
Thank you.
Yeah. I love you,
That's
bro.
it. We're out.
All right.